Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to create a 3D Facebook cube using HTML and CSS. This type of tutorial is especially helpful for beginners who are just started with HTML and CSS. And if they want to strengthen their fundamentals, think of it this way. You can't cut down a big tree in a single strike. First you need to practice with smaller steps. Similarly, working on simple projects like this, you'll build the confidence and the necessary skills you need. And later on, you can work on more advanced styling projects later on. So if you are just new to the web development, I highly recommend you to practice this kind of mini projects. Over time, you'll find yourself mastering HTML and CSS with these. So yeah, so let's dive into the tutorial. So for creating this, let's open the VS Code first. So I'm using VS Code, but in your case, you can use any of your code editors. So I've already opened the 3D Facebook Cube folder. So here I'll create the files and all. So for writing the HTML code, I'll create one file. So I'll name it as index.html. Yeah, I've saved it. And now for the all HTML tags and all, I'll use the HTML5. So yeah, my editor has given me the entire boilerplate code. That is fine. So I'll give the title as a 3D Facebook logo. Yeah, perfect. Let me open this in the browser. So open with live server. Then yeah. So now the HTML file is opened in the browser. Let's start writing the code now. As you can see the image, the cube, it has three faces. One is the front face, this one is the right face, and this one is the top face. So let's create three separate divs for it. So div dot front, and I'll take a div dot right, and I'll create another div that is div dot top. So I've created three divs for the each and every face. So I'll for this entire cube I'll create one more div, and I'll place all these in the that particular div. So I'll make it as a cube. So I'll keep these all faces in the cube. I'll take one more container also. Container. Yeah, yeah, perfect. So for now, let me add some dummy text. So I'll use a front. I'll use right and top. So let me save it. So let's check. So yeah, now these texts are visible. So let's add the stylings also. For that, create a new file and add a style.css. Yeah, save it. Link it with our HTML file. For that, use link and use style.css. Yes. Now we are ready to write the styles in style.css. So first of all, I'll make the styles to the all the faces. So let me add the front face. For now, I'll just give a background color as a red. That should be fine. Now I'll use a right. For now, I'll just give the background color as a blue. Yeah. And then I'll give the top. And for now, I'll give the background color as yellow. Yes. So yeah. First of all, I'll apply the box sizing as border box to all the elements. So if I use star means the style will be applicable for all the elements in the document. So I'll make the box sizing as border box. That means the size of the box that is entirely depends upon the width. So whatever the box size, whatever the width size that I have given, so based on that, this box size in border box will tell the CSS keep my box size fixed. So that includes the padding and border also. So this will actually saves the layout from becoming messy. I'll explain more about the box sizing and further. And now coming to the next styles, let me apply styles to the body. So for the body, I'll use a margin as 0, and I'll use minimum height, that is 100 as VH. and I'll display the items as grid and place the items as center. Let's see, place the items as a center, and I'll use the background color background as a hash F4 F6 FP, and I'll use the font family something like system UI. So yeah, so I've applied the styles to the body as well. So in this body, this margin 0 removes the browser's default margin around the page. So by default, browser gives the body tag some spacing like a white border. So this line will remove the browser default margin. So now this minimum height 100 SVH. SVH means small viewport height. So this is introduced to fix the mobile browser issues when the top or bottom bars got resized. This if you use SVH, then mobile related issues will got resolved. So 100 SVH means it covers the full screen height no matter the mobile or the desktop. And display grid. Display grid turns the body into a grid container. So place item center. Center is something like this will make the items in the center. Like it will keep all the items perfectly in the center. And background. This is the background color. Font family is like a family. It's a font family. So how the font should look like. So those font family names we have given here. So that's all about the body. Now let's start styling the cube. So cube, first of all, we need the cube position changing. So that's why we will give the position as a relative. So by giving the position relative, so it will make the cube the parent. So all the inner faces like the front face, top face, and the right face can be positioned relative to it. So that's why we have given the position. And also let's give the width and height of the cube. So width is somewhere around 280 pixels I'll give, and height is somewhere around 280 pixels I'll give it. Let's save and see. So yeah, now we got some width and height. So I want to make it as a 3D like this. So for that, I need to use a property that is transform style. Transform style. So preserve 3D. So actually, this transform style is very helpful when we want to like keep the child elements, all the cube faces in a 3D space instead of flattening them. So if we don't use this, all the elements will become flattened. So once we complete all the styles, you will see the difference. So again, let's use another property that is transform. So I'll use rotate x-axis. I'll use minus 18 degree. I want it to rotate in that way. And rotate, I'll use minus 28 degree. So yeah, now save it. So it has rotated. It has rotated to minus 18 degree. And along the x-axis, it has rotated to minus 18 degree. And as it has rotated to minus 28 degree as well. So next, we need to write some keyframes. So why do we write the keyframes? Is that to make the effect, that effect, the 3D effect of the moving the, see this cube is moving, right? If we want to utilize this effect, then we need to write the keyframes. Keyframe, I need to use some identifier. I'll use a float. That's kind of identifier name. And keyframe has a 0%, at 0% and at 100%. That means at the starting point and at the ending point. I want this transformation, like transform. So I want the cube to be rotated in minus 18 degree and rotate the y. So minus 28 degree rotation is required along y axis. Translate to y. Now I'll apply for 50%. For 50%, how it should look is I'll use transform, rotate x, that is somewhere around minus 16 degree, and rotate y, I'll use minus 22 degree, and translate y It is minus 8 pixels. Ooh, now saved. So I need to use this keyframe identifier float in the cube. I want this entire transition and transformation for the cube, right? So that's why I need to use the animation. So I need to use the property name that is animation, and I need to mention the float name here, float, wait, float, and mention the seconds. Let's say I'll use 4 seconds. Is in, out, infinite. That means infinite times. So yeah, see, now this effect, this keyframes effect, whatever we have given, the transformation along x-axis and y-axis, when it is 0 and 100, when it is 50%, all got applied to the cube. See, it's very fast. Let me make it 6 seconds. So yes, it's moving. That's fine. So ease in and ease out means it's a smooth start and smooth end. Infinite means it keeps on, it goes forever. This effect goes forever. So this is the time, and float is the identifier. This is the keyframe identifier. So animation means it will utilize this particular keyframe transformation, whatever we have given. So that's the style for the cube. Now let's use the actual text here. So for that, let's go to the index.html. So as you can see, this cube, for right side it has a Facebook text, and for the front view it has a F shape. So for that, let's go to the right side view. Here, add a Facebook text. I will wrap it with a class, and I'll keep it inside it. Okay, let's set. Okay, Facebook got updated. But for this F shape, we can't actually use the logos, right? So for that, we need to use SVG. So SVG is nothing but scalable vector graphics. So it's a way to draw the shapes with the help of the math instructions instead of the pixels and something like that. We need to give some coordinates. Based on that, SVG will draw the shapes. I'll explain it more in further. I already have the SVG tag. That's the path. Let me copy this. So in the front, I need to write a class that is div.fshade. Inside that, I need to use the SVG tag. SVG. So here, I need to use a attribute that is viewbox. So I'll give it as 0, 0, 100, and 160. I'll explain this. And we need to use a role that is img. Now here we need to paste the tag what we have copied. So that is path, fill white, D, and some coordinates. I'll explain this. So first of all, SVG is a scalable vector graphics. So whatever the coordinates that whatever we have provided, based on these coordinates, SVG will draw a shape. So these coordinates are something like the instructions how to how to draw this shape actually. So this view box 0, 0, 100 or 160, it defines the 100 units wide and 160 units tall canvas. So this shape is drawn in a canvas. So let me show you one thing. SVG visualizer. So here, let me open this SVG visualizer. As you can see, we need to paste the coordinates here. Based on that, we can check what image is drawn. So here in our path field, the coordinates we have utilized is these coordinates. So let's use this and see what is the shape it is drawing. See, this is the shape it is drawing. So the explanation part is here. You can go through it. M is nothing but move, H is a horizontal, C is a curve, V is vertical. You can go through it in a deep manner. So as of now, we'll go forward. So like that, SVG is very helpful for drawing the shapes. So in our code, we are using the SVG. So yeah, now let's do a styling part for it. So let's check it, how it is. So this is how it is. Now let's add proper styling for all the faces. So let's go to the style.css. Inside that, let's use in a new class name face. So inside that, we'll give the position as a absolute and inset that is 0, display as grid, place items as a center, and border radius is something like 14 pixels. We'll give it. Now let's save this. It has not made any change because we have not applied it to the elements. So now let's apply this to the elements face class. So the front, I'll use front face, front face right, and face top. So yeah, now the styles got applied to it. So let's actually adjust the all sides first. So for the front, background is linear gradient 145-degree, and I'll use the color code as 1877F2. It's almost similar to blue, and hash 2A69DF. And I will transform, I want to position it. So I'll position it based on the Z axis. I'll put it at 140 pixels. Save. Now, yeah, my front face has transformed to 140 pixels via Z axis. Now let's go to the right one. Right also, I'll use this same styles here, but I'll just change the values. So for that, I'll use the values that is here. I'll use 2A69DF, and here I'll use 0E4AA8. Yeah, and I'll use 140 pixels same here also. And for the top, I will use the linear gradient color as for something like 6FA 7FF, and another color I'll use as 18777F2. Okay. There is an error here. So if I compare this expression expected, so expression is expected. So what mistake I've done here? Background linear gradient 145 degree, that's correct. 6FA 7FF, that's correct. Oh, I have added one more 7, that's the case. Now it is fine. And I'll transform this transformation. We need to give correctly, otherwise every face will be stacked as one. So let's change this. I'll want to translate this. So I will use rotate the x-axis. I'll use 90-degree, and translate Z, I'll use 140 pixels. Save it. So yeah, top is there. Now the right section also I need to use something like rotate y-axis. I need to use it. Y along y. Translate Z is 140. So now the cube shape is fine. Now we're able to see the cube shape. This is good almost all. Now let's use the fog shadow effect for the faces. So I'll use the fog shadow, and I need to use few coordinates here. So one is inside 1203 and 2 pixels, and RGBA, that is 255, 255, comma 0.15. This will give the box shadow effect actually. So I need to copy this. I need to copy this. Yeah, I copied this. So let's change the coordinates here. Let's 20 pixels and 40 pixels. 255, 255, 255 and 115. That's correct. And here I need to use minus 18 pixels and 40 pixels. And I need to use 0, 0, and 0 and 0.25. So this has given some box shadow effect. So that's the case. Save this. So yeah, now this has given the box shadow effect. As you can see, as you can observe the difference. So the shadow effect is there for all the faces. Now let's check the F shape. The F shape, whatever we have given, that's not visible here. So the F shape, we need to do styling for it. So for the F shape, first of all, we need to give F shape. The F shape, we need to give for the SVG, we need to give the width and height. Width is somewhere around 100% width, and we need to give the height, that is somewhere around 100%, and we need to display it as block. So now save it. Now I can see the F shape, but it came out of the cube. So we need to adjust it. For that, just add F shape as here. We need to position it relative, and to make the width, position it relative, and we need to make the width, that is 55%, and aspect ratio we need to set, that is 3/5, and color we need to give white, and filter we need to give drop down, we need to give drop shadow, that is 0, 10 pixels, 14 pixels, and RGBA, the color 0, 0, 0, 0.35. So now, yeah, now our F got fit to the front face perfectly. Now we need to add styling for the right side word also. So for that, let's add style to the word class. For that, first take the word. Here we need to add the font weight, that is around 900. Now I observe some font weight is there. Let's add some font size, that is around 42 pixels. Yeah, now I see some font size, and I need a color. I use white. Yeah, I can see the color. Let's use the same color here also. Yeah, it's a little dull. That's it. And that's it. We got the font size, everything, but I need some letter spacing that for it. So use letter spacing. This is 0.5 px. That should be fine. Now it's perfect. So yeah, that is perfect. I can see it's visible perfect. Yeah, now what's pending here? If we check the reference image, so the pending part here is, so on the top you have a top text. Let's remove it. It's not required. Is required remove now? Yeah, that's great. Now add a perspective to the entire view. Let me add it. I'll explain you what this perspective means. Container and perspective 100 pixels. Yeah, now the perspective has changed. So So perspective is nothing but like when you look at the objects, like things are like things closer to you, those look very bigger, and things further they look very smaller. So this particular effect is called the perspective effect. So in CSS, when we are working on many 3D transformations like rotate Y, rotate X, or any creating a cube, we need to tell the browser how deep the 3D work should look. So if you give the perspective value to less, then it will become like almost like a flattened. So that's why we need to give the perspective value somewhere around 1200 pixels, or that's based on your view. It gives a natural balance. Like that's why we use this for the 3D cube. So that's the case. So if we check, so this is what this has made the entire cube. So that's it. Our entire cube is done now. So let's see it in a bigger view. Yeah, that's all. We have successfully made a 3D Facebook cube that has all the edges, and a rotating effect is also there. Thank you. Thanks for watching.